In the cold vacuum of space, Earth's first Star Destroyer rested hidden beneath a cloak of secrecy. It was a monument to human ambition and survival, a massive warship gleaming under the artificial lights of the orbital shipyard. For years, its construction had been Earth's best-kept secret, hidden from the prying eyes of alien civilizations and even from most of Earth's population. Only a handful of leaders and engineers knew its true purpose. Commander Elena Voss stood on the observation deck, staring out at the massive hull stretching across the horizon. She felt a mixture of awe and unease. The ship was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen: towering bulkheads, advanced energy cannons, and a hangar deck capable of deploying swarms of fighter drones in seconds. Yet, beneath that power lay a question she couldn't ignore. Was humanity truly ready to wield such force? "Commander Voss," came a voice behind her. It was Admiral Herrick, head of Earth's Space Command. His sharp eyes mirrored the weight of the moment. "They're calling it the eclipse, a fitting name for the shadow we're about to cast on the stars." Elena nodded. "A shadow, or a beacon. It depends on how we use it." The silence was broken suddenly by an urgent alarm. The shipyard's communications panel blinked red. "Commander, you need to see this," Herrick said. Elena moved swiftly to the console. A live transmission flickered to life, showing a small mining colony on the edge of human space. Smoke billowed from ruined buildings. Fires raged unchecked. Alien raiders, xenophobic marauders from the neighboring Lyris cluster, had launched a surprise assault. The colony's defense turrets were overwhelmed. Panic-stricken transmissions from colonists begged for help, their voices laced with fear and desperation. Elena's jaw tightened. They've been sitting on this for hours. No fleet could have arrived in time. Admiral Herrick's gaze hardened. "Exactly. And Earth's diplomatic envoys have tried negotiating with the Lyris before. They refused to cease attacks on our settlements." "Then it's time for something different," Elena said, voice steady despite the knot tightening in her stomach. Herrick tapped a secure terminal. "I'm authorizing launch. The eclipse goes live. No more hiding." In the command center, technicians rushed to initiate startup sequences. Massive engines hummed to life, thrusters ignited, and the Star Destroyer began its slow, powerful push away from the shipyard. On the bridge, Elena took the captain's chair. She could feel the vibrations through the hull, the heartbeat of a machine born for war. "Set course for the colony. Maximum speed," she ordered. As the eclipse cut through the blackness, Elena allowed herself a brief moment to reflect on what this mission meant. For decades, Earth had clung to ideals of peace and exploration, avoiding conflicts beyond its solar system. But now, surrounded by hostile neighbors and vulnerable colonies, humanity was forced to change. Her comm unit buzzed. "Commander, sensors. Detect multiple hostile ships, Lyris raiders pursuing a damaged transport near the colony." Elena's eyes sharpened. "Prepare weapons systems. Target the raiders before they can finish off the transport." The ship's energy cannons powered up, and fighter drones launched in swarms, streaking toward the enemy ships like metallic wasps. From the observation deck, civilians watching the broadcast from Earth gasped as the eclipse fired its first shots. Massive energy blasts tore through raider vessels, which exploded in fiery bursts. The raiders tried to regroup, but were no match for the advanced weaponry and tactical coordination of the Star Destroyer. In the chaos, Elena's mind raced. The eclipse was not just a war machine, it was a message. Humanity was announcing its presence, unafraid to protect its own with overwhelming force. But with victory came a creeping doubt. Would this act spark fear or hatred? Would the other civilization see Earth as a new threat or a beacon of hope? Just then, a distress call crackled through the ship's channels. "Colony Command. They've trapped us in the mining caves. The raiders are flooding tunnels. We need extraction now." Elena glanced at the tactical display. The mining caves were in a region the Star Destroyer's main guns couldn't reach without risking civilian lives. There was only one option. "Deploy boarding teams," she said. "Send the Raptors, get those colonists out." Elite Marine squads trained for zero-G combat and infiltration, Suited up quickly, Elena watched as they launched from the ship's hangar bay in sleek fighters, weaving through enemy fire toward the surface. Minutes felt like hours as the Eclipse provided cover, its massive guns suppressing raider reinforcements. The Marines fought through narrow tunnels, shadows and gunfire clashing in tight quarters. Finally, transmissions from the Marines came through. Extraction point secured. Evac in progress. Elena exhaled, relief flooding through her, but it was tempered by the knowledge this was only the beginning. Back in orbit, alien diplomats aboard distant ships exchanged worried glances as they watched the human Star Destroyer in action. Earth had broken the silence of space, not just with weapons but with a clear statement. Humanity was no longer a silent observer. Commander Voss turned from the viewport and addressed her crew. Today we saved lives. Tomorrow we decide what humanity's future in the stars will be. The Eclipse roared forward, slicing through the void, a shining symbol of Earth's defiance, its power, and the promise that the silence of space had been shattered forever. The Eclipse cut through the black fabric of space like a blade, its engines blazing a trail of blue-white fire. Behind it, the mining colony, still smoldering from the raid, came into view. Against the backdrop of distant stars, the sheer scale of the Star Destroyer was impossible to ignore. It was a city on wings, a fortress gleaming with cold, lethal precision. On board the Eclipse, Commander Elena Voss stood at the bridge's central console, watching the colony's rescue efforts unfold on the holographic display. The elite Marines were still escorting the last survivors back to their ships, their faces etched with exhaustion but shining with hope. Rescue teams are in place, reported Lieutenant Mara Klein, the tactical officer. Colony survivors are being evacuated safely. No hostile contacts detected in the immediate vicinity. Elena allowed herself a brief smile. Good. Begin medical triage and prepare for transport to Earth. But even as relief washed over the crew, the stillness of space beyond the colony's orbit was far from peaceful. A sudden alert flashed across the main screen. Multiple unknown ships were warping into the system. They arrived fast, sleek vessels, painted in unfamiliar colors, alien warships. The captain's voice steadied, but tension crept into the bridge. Unknown vessels approaching. They're stopping short of the colony, opening communications channel. The holographic feed switched to a large, angular ship, its hull covered in iridescent plates that shimmered with an alien light. A tall, slender figure appeared on screen, garbed in a ceremonial uniform that spoke of rank and power. Greetings, inhabitants of Earth. The figure's voice was calm but carried an unmistakable edge of command. We are the High Council of Vreelan. Your Star Destroyer's arrival has shattered the silence of space and disturbed the delicate balance among our peoples. Elena's fingers hovered above the console, weighing every word. The Vreelans had been observers for centuries, distant, aloof, and regarded as arbiters of galactic law. Now they stood before humanity, confronting Earth's sudden boldness. This vessel, the Vreelan leader continued, is unlike anything in known space. Your actions show power beyond expectation. We request your intentions. Elena took a deep breath before replying, her voice calm but firm. The Eclipse was built to protect Earth's colonies and to assert humanity's right to exist without fear. We seek peace but will defend ourselves and those under our care. The alien's expression shifted, a flicker of respect passing through their eyes. Peace is a noble goal, Commander, but power demands responsibility. Many have tried to wield it and failed. Before Elena could respond, the screen flickered and cut to static. Sabotage? Lieutenant Klein muttered, already scanning for intrusion. Elena shook her head. More likely a warning. To unsettle us. Keep the channel open. We'll respond when they're ready. Behind the scenes, Earth's political leaders were watching the exchange with growing concern. The sudden appearance of the Eclipse had shifted centuries of fragile diplomacy overnight. Some feared that Earth had just invited a storm of hostility. Indio, the council chamber beneath Earth's capital, Ambassador Tariq Chen argued passionately. We cannot afford to provoke these alien powers. The Eclipse's launch should have been a message of exploration, not intimidation. Across the room, Defense Minister Kayla Morgan countered. Our colonies were attacked and we had no defense. Now we have a weapon to protect them. If that makes us a threat, then so be it. The debate was fierce, but the outcome was clear. Earth would stand firm. Humanity's voice would no longer be ignored. Meanwhile, aboard the Eclipse, Elena convened. Her senior officers, "We've sent a message that Earth is awake. Now we must be ready for whatever comes next," she said. "Commander," Mara Klein pointed to the tactical display. "Our scanners picked up an unusual energy signature near the outer asteroid belt, something ancient." Elena's curiosity was piqued. Ancient? Could it be a relic? An abandoned outpost? "Possibly," Mara replied. "But the readings are unstable. I recommend an investigation." Elena nodded. "Prepare a reconnaissance team. If there's something there, it might hold the key to understanding our new place in the galaxy." As preparations began, word of the Eclipse's arrival spread rapidly across human space and beyond. News feeds buzzed with images of the colossal warship and footage of its dramatic rescue mission. Humanity was both celebrated and feared, hailed as protectors by some, and seen as a dangerous upstart by others. In the far reaches of the Vraylan Council's chambers, the alien leaders debated their response. Some urged caution, advocating dialogue with Earth to avoid unnecessary conflict. Others warned that the Star Destroyer was a sign that humanity might soon challenge the established order. One elder, cloaked in dark robes, spoke with a voice like grinding stone. "The humans have awakened a sleeping giant. We must watch carefully. Their silence was not ignorance, it was patience. And now, that patience is over." Back on the Eclipse, Elena stood alone on the observation deck late into the ship's night cycle. The stars outside seemed colder and more distant than before. She whispered to herself, "The silence is broken, but what comes next? Only time will tell." Suddenly, the ship's sensors flickered again, this time detecting an incoming transmission. The message was brief and cryptic. "Welcome to the Galactic stage, Earth. Your journey has just begun." Elena's heart raced. The silence of space was shattered, and humanity's fate was no longer theirs alone to decide. The message was brief but sent shockwaves across Earth's command centers. "Welcome to the Galactic stage, Earth. Your journey has just begun." Commander Elena Voss stood at the helm of the Eclipse, feeling the weight of the galaxy's gaze pressed down like a physical force. The Star Destroyer had shattered centuries of silence, and now, every move Earth made was watched, analyzed, and judged by countless alien civilizations. Back on Earth, the political landscape grew volatile. News of the Eclipse's arrival and the ensuing rescue mission had sparked a maelstrom of reactions. Some factions celebrated humanity's newfound power. Others feared the consequences of challenging the established cosmic order. In the heart of Earth's sprawling capital, Ambassador Tariq Chen convened an emergency meeting of the United Earth Coalition's Diplomatic Council. "We must tread carefully," Tariq warned, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. "The Vraylans and other powers view our arrival as a threat. We cannot afford to escalate tensions into open war." Defense Minister Kayla Morgan slammed her fist on the table. "We have lived under threat for too long. Our colonies were attacked and Earth was helpless. The Eclipse changes that. It's time the galaxy recognized our strength." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room, but Tariq's eyes narrowed. "Strength without diplomacy is a sword without a hilt. We need allies, not enemies." Meanwhile, deep within the corridors of the Eclipse, Lieutenant Mara Klein monitored incoming intelligence streams with growing unease. "Commander," she said quietly, "there are anomalies in our communications channels. I believe someone is trying to intercept or manipulate our transmissions." Elena frowned. "Are we compromised?" "Possibly. Someone on Earth's command or within our crew may be leaking information to alien factions opposed to our rise." Revelation chilled the room. The enemy was not just outside, they might be inside. Elena's mind raced. Assemble a counterintelligence team immediately. Find the source of the leak before it's too late. Elsewhere, in the shadows of Earth's political elite, a secret meeting took place. A figure cloaked in darkness addressed a group of well-dressed individuals. The Star Destroyer is a threat to the balance. We cannot allow Earth to disrupt centuries of peace and control. A sharp-faced man with cold eyes replied, "We have agents in place. The leak has begun. Earth's leaders will soon be forced to reconsider their reckless ambitions." Their plan was insidious, an attempt to sabotage the fragile trust humanity had just begun to build. Back aboard the Eclipse, Elena's security chief, Captain Ryan Decker, approached with grim news. "Commander, our investigations uncovered a high-ranking Earth official communicating with hostile alien factions. It's a betrayal of the highest order." Elena's jaw clenched. "We need names and evidence. If this reaches the public, it could undermine everything." Decker nodded. "We're moving discreetly. The last thing we need is a public scandal that fractures Earth's unity." As the Eclipse ventured further into the Vraylan system, the tension on board was palpable. The alien ruins that Lieutenant Klein had detected earlier came into clearer view, a sprawling complex of ancient spires and monoliths, covered in symbols no one could yet decipher. Elena led an away team to investigate. As they stepped into the alien structure, the air was thick with mystery and an unsettling sense that they were not alone. Inside, the team found holographic projections of star charts and cryptic messages warning of a cataclysmic force known only as the Shatterstorm, an event that had annihilated entire civilizations in the distant past. "We're looking at a warning," Mara said, eyes wide. "Something so powerful, it reshaped the galaxy's history." Elena's mind raced. If such a force still exists, it could threaten all life, including ours. Suddenly, a silent alarm triggered. The team was locked inside the chamber by a force field. "We're trapped," Elena said, drawing her weapon, "and something, or someone, is watching." Back on the Eclipse, the crew scrambled to find a way to disable the field. Meanwhile, Elena and her team prepared for the unknown. As the Eclipse grappled with ancient mysteries, Earth's political factions prepared for the worst. The leaked secrets and alien threats were forcing Earth to redefine its place in the cosmos. In a final broadcast to the galaxy, Ambassador Tariq Chen addressed the myriad alien races watching. "Earth seeks peace, but we will not be silent in the face of threats. Let this be a new chapter, one of cooperation, vigilance, and hope." Yet beneath his hopeful words, the fractures were growing. The galaxy was changing. The ripples from Earth's Star Destroyer were spreading, and no one, not even humanity, could predict what storms they might bring. The Eclipse shuddered under the strain of the virus coursing through its systems, a hidden poison designed to cripple Earth's first Star Destroyer at its most vulnerable moment. Lights flickered erratically, navigation consoles glitched, and weapon systems entered unpredictable standby modes. Commander Elena Voss stood at the bridge, the weight of responsibility heavier than ever. She clenched her fists as Captain Ryan Decker and the engineering team raced against the clock to purge the malware. "Commander, we've isolated the core of the virus," Ryan reported, beads of sweat rolling down his temple. "It's designed, with multiple failsafes. If we trigger one wrong move, it could cascade into a complete system shutdown." Elena's jaw tightened. "Do whatever it takes, Captain. The Eclipse cannot go dark. Not now." Around the globe, Earth's political and public landscape roiled with the news of Senator Voss's betrayal. The revelation that a trusted leader had conspired with hostile aliens sent shockwaves through society. In the United Earth Coalition's Grand Assembly Hall, Ambassador Tariq Chen addressed a packed chamber. "Today, we face a test unlike any before," he said solemnly. "But we will not be divided by fear or treachery. We must stand united." Yet, deep pockets of dissent festered. The Silent Veil's supporters capitalized on the chaos, stirring protests and calls for demilitarization. On board the Eclipse, Elena's personal turmoil was eclipsed only by the rising pressure from above. Defense Minister Kayla Morgan contacted the ship with a stark message. Commander, Earth demands immediate action. We cannot afford delays. Your mission is to establish Earth's strength in the Vraylan system. No excuses. Elena met the message with grim resolve. Understood. We'll proceed once the ship is secure. But securing the Eclipse meant fighting invisible enemies inside its circuits and fragile trust among the crew. Lieutenant Mara Klein led the counterintelligence task force, her eyes sharp and unyielding. We've identified more suspects. Mara briefed Elena. The sabotage was part of a coordinated effort. There's a mole embedded within the ship's senior staff. The revelation sent a ripple of disbelief through the command. How deep did the rot go? Determined to root out the traitor, Elena ordered a series of discreet interrogations and security sweeps. Meanwhile, the away team exploring the Vraylan ruins sent back troubling data. Ancient star charts revealed a network of dormant war machines, relics from a galaxy-wide conflict known only in whispered legends. These machines could be weapons, or worse, harbingers of destruction, Mara said during a tactical briefing. Elena's mind raced. If they activate, it could spark another war beyond anything we've imagined. As the Eclipse struggled internally, alien emissaries arrived at Earth's orbital station, their presence both a challenge and an opportunity. The Vraylan High Council sent their envoy, Ambassador Kelthar, to meet with Earth's leaders. Commander Voss. Kelthar greeted Elena with measured respect. Your arrival has shifted the balance of power. The galaxy watches closely. Elena nodded. We seek peace, but we will not back down from defending our people. Kelthar's eyes gleamed. A delicate balance. Your next moves will determine Earth's fate among the stars. Back on Earth, public opinion divided sharply. The media churned out endless debates. Was the Eclipse a savior or a threat? Was Senator Voss a lone traitor or a symptom of deeper fractures? In the ship's command center, Elena felt the walls closing in. The mole's identity remained hidden, the virus still pulsing faintly in the ship's systems. Then, in the quiet hours of the ship's cycle, a breach occurred. An alarm blared as key weapon controls flickered offline. Elena and her security team rushed to the source, only to find Captain Ryan Decker missing. The cold realization hit her like a blow. The mole was someone she trusted. Elena ordered a full lockdown and initiated a ship-wide search. The betrayal was no longer abstract. It was personal and immediate. Days passed in tense silence with every crew member under suspicion. The Eclipse limped through space, its system slowly stabilizing but still vulnerable. Finally, a breakthrough. Lieutenant Mara Klein uncovered encrypted logs hidden deep in the ship's network. The records pointed to Decker's covert communications with unknown alien operatives, plans to sabotage Earth's defense during a critical battle. The confrontation was swift and brutal. Elena found Decker in the weapons bay, attempting to override the main cannons. Ryan, stand down, Elena commanded, weapon drawn. Decker's eyes were cold, resigned. You don't understand, Elena. Earth's militarization will destroy everything we hold dear. I'm preventing a war before it starts. Elena shook her head, heart aching. By betraying your own? That's not peace, that's destruction. Security officers arrived, detaining Decker as the Eclipse's systems hummed back to life. With the mole exposed, a fragile calm returned. But Elena knew the war was far from over. The galaxy had awakened. Earth's Star Destroyer was a beacon, powerful and dangerous. And now, humanity's true reckoning was just beginning. The stars outside the Eclipse's massive observation windows shimmered like distant promises and looming threats alike. Commander Elena Voss stood silent on the bridge, her gaze fixed beyond the cold expanse of space. The Star Destroyer, once crippled by internal sabotage, was healing, but the wounds ran deep. Trust, once fractured, was slow to mend. Commander, Lieutenant Mara Klein approached, voice low and urgent. Our scans have detected multiple fleets converging on the Vraylan system. They're not just curious observers anymore. Elena's jaw clenched. How many ships? Too many to count. Several known warfaring civilizations, some hostile, others neutral, but all watchful. This is no coincidence. The eclipse's arrival had sent ripples far beyond Earth and the Vraylan Council. The galaxy's great powers were gathering like predators sensing a shift in the cosmic order. Earth's bold step had broken centuries of silence, and every faction now weighed whether to strike, parley, or prepare for war. In the ship's war room, maps of star systems and fleet movements flickered in holographic light. Ambassador Tariq Chen joined Elena's officers via secure link. "We've received urgent communications from several allied systems," Tariq reported. "They urge caution but also warn that some factions see Earth's rise as a direct threat to their influence." "Do we know which factions?" Elena asked. "Primarily the Darax Syndicate, the Hrail Dominion, and a coalition of mercenary clans. They've sent envoys demanding that Earth stand down or face consequences." Elena's expression hardened. "We didn't choose this path lightly. Our colonies were attacked and we defended them. We cannot back down now." Mara's fingers danced over the console. "We've also detected unusual energy signatures near the ancient Vraylan ruins. Whatever those war machines are, someone else might be trying to reactivate them." A cold silence fell over the room. The forgotten relics of a past war could tip the scales in any conflict. And if they were awakened, the entire galaxy might face destruction on an unimaginable scale. As the eclipse prepared for possible confrontation, a new figure entered the scene, a mysterious envoy from the Vraylan High Council named Lysara. Her presence was commanding, her eyes filled with ancient wisdom and a hint of sorrow. "Commander Voss," she said softly, "the galaxy stands at a crossroads. Your arrival has upset balances that have held for millennia, but there is still a chance to avoid devastation." Elena studied her. "And what would you have us do?" Lysara gestured toward the star charts. "Form alliances, seek the Guardians, an ancient order sworn to protect the galaxy from the Shatterstorm, the cataclysmic event the ruins warn about. Only with their aid can this cycle of destruction be broken." Elena nodded slowly. "Then that will be our mission. Seek the Guardians and secure Earth's future." But diplomacy was a fragile thread in a web of growing tensions. As the eclipse moved closer to the Vraylan system's core, a fleet of sleek warships emerged from the shadows, ships bearing the insignia of the Darax Syndicate. Their admiral, a ruthless commander named Vorak, hailed the eclipse with a chilling message. "Earth's Star Destroyer is an unwelcome guest. Withdraw your forces or be destroyed." Elena's voice was calm but resolute. "We defend ourselves and our people. Retreat is not an option." A tense standoff ensued, the vacuum of space crackling with the threat of violence. For hours, both sides held their positions, fleets poised for battle. Then, unexpectedly, Lysara's envoy appeared between the lines, broadcasting a plea for peace and cooperation. "War benefits no one," she warned. "The Shatterstorm threatens all life. Unite or perish." The message echoed through the void, sowing doubt among the opposing commanders. Vorak's gaze narrowed, but the threat of a greater enemy forced a grudging truce. Elena seized the moment. "We will open negotiations, but make no mistake, Earth will fight if provoked." As tentative talks began, a darker shadow loomed. Sensors aboard the Eclipse detected a rapidly approaching vessel, its silhouette unlike anything known, a massive ship pulsating with an eerie, unnatural energy. The ancient war machines might not be dormant after all. Elena's heart pounded. The galaxy's fate was no longer a distant threat. It was arriving, and humanity's first step among the stars had become a battle for survival. The eerie vessel drifted closer, its dark hull shimmering with pulses of blue and violet energy that danced like living lightning. It was unlike any ship the Eclipse's sensors had catalogued, neither organic nor machine, but something ancient and terrifyingly alive. Commander Elena Voss stood rigid on the bridge, watching as the alien warship eclipsed distant stars. The uneasy truce with the Darax fleet was shattered by the arrival of this enigma. Unknown vessel is powering up weapons, Lieutenant Mara Klein reported, voice tight with tension. Energy readings match those described in the Vraylan ruins, the ancient war machines. We're witnessing the awakening of the Shatterstorm's agents. Elena's mind raced. The Shatterstorm, a cataclysmic event chronicled only in Galactic myth, was no longer a legend. It was a threat poised to engulf them all. Battle stations, Elena commanded. Prepare to engage if necessary, but send out a priority transmission to the Vraylan High Council and all allied fleets. This is not just Earth's fight, it's the galaxy's. On Earth, Ambassador Tariq Chen watched the unfolding crisis with grave concern. The political divisions, the sabotage, the external threats, all converged in this moment of peril. He addressed a live broadcast to Earth citizens, his voice steady despite the chaos. Humanity has taken its place among the stars. Today, that place is threatened by forces beyond our comprehension, but we will stand united, strong, and resolute. Back aboard the Eclipse, Elena coordinated defensive maneuvers as the alien vessel unleashed torrents of energy bolts toward their shields. The Star Destroyer's weapons responded in kind, a symphony of light and destruction echoing through space. Amid the battle, Lysera appeared at Elena's side, her eyes reflecting the chaos outside. The Shatterstorm's agents seek to awaken the ancient war machines buried beneath Vraylan, Lysera said. If they succeed, the entire galaxy will be consumed in fire. Elena's voice was fierce. Then we must stop them, no matter the cost. As the battle raged, Mara's team detected a pattern. The alien ship's attacks were designed to destabilize key points in the Vraylan system's defense grid, enabling the awakening of the war machines. Elena made a bold decision. Prepare an away team. We're going to the surface. We have to stop the activation at its source. The landing party descended to the alien ruins, the vast spires casting long shadows across the jagged landscape. In the depths of the temple, ancient machinery hummed to life, gears grinding and energy conduits sparking. The team moved swiftly, evading automated defenses and alien drones. At the heart of the complex, they found the activation core, a pulsing orb of raw power threatening to ignite a chain reaction. Lieutenant Mara Klein worked furiously to disable the core's controls, fingers flying over alien interfaces. Suddenly, a shadow detached itself from the darkness, a figure clad in dark armor, eyes glowing with unnatural light, the saboteur leader from the Silent Veil. You cannot stop the inevitable, the figure hissed. The galaxy will burn and Earth's ambition will be its undoing. Elena stepped forward, weapon ready. Earth's ambition is to survive and to protect. You're the true threat here. A fierce battle erupted in the chamber. Energy, weapons clashing against ancient technology. With a final surge, Mara deactivated the core, the pulsing orb dimming, and the ruin falling silent once more. Outside, the Eclipse had repelled the alien warship, forcing it to retreat into the darkness. The Yao. Battle was won, but the war was far from over. Elena stood amid her weary team, the weight of the galaxy's future resting heavily on their shoulders. The Shatterstorm may sleep, but it is not defeated, she said. We have made enemies, powerful ones. But we have also made allies. This is only the beginning. As the Eclipse prepared to regroup and rally the galaxy's forces, Elena's gaze turned toward the stars, knowing that humanity's true test was just ahead. The battle had scarred the stars. The Eclipse bore fresh wounds from the Shatterstorm's emissaries, yet it stood unbroken, a beacon of humanity's resilience. Commander Elena Voss looked out at the expanse of space, now tinged with the soft glow of distant nebulae and scattered fleets preparing for the coming storm. The uneasy alliances forged in desperation had begun to solidify, forming a fragile but hopeful coalition. But peace was a fragile promise in a galaxy still trembling beneath ancient shadows. The Vraylan system's war machines lay dormant once, more thanks to Mara Klein's daring intervention deep in the ruins. Yet their threat loomed like a specter, reminding all that the galaxy's past was never truly gone. In the grand hall of the newly established Galactic Council, representatives from Earth, the Vraylan High Council, the Darek Syndicate, and other allied worlds convened. The air was thick with tension but also with determination. Ambassador Tariq Chen addressed the assembly. The Shatterstorm nearly brought ruin to all of us, but it also awakened something greater, our unity. We are no longer isolated worlds but a galaxy bound by a common destiny. Elena stood beside him, her Star Destroyer a symbol of Earth's commitment and sacrifice. Yet the victory had come at a cost. Captain Ryan Decker, once a trusted officer turned traitor, had perished during the battle to disable the Shatterstorm's core. His actions, though misguided, sparked difficult questions about loyalty, fear, and the price of ambition. Elena reflected on the fragile line between hero and villain, knowing that the future required not just strength, but wisdom. Back aboard, the Eclipse, preparations were underway for the next chapter: exploration, diplomacy, and defense. Earth's first Star Destroyer would no longer be a weapon of war alone, but a guardian of peace. As the Galactic Council ratified the Vraylan Accord, a treaty to protect the galaxy from ancient threats and ensure cooperation, Elena felt the weight of leadership settle upon her shoulders with renewed purpose. A transmission came through, a call for aid from a distant system under attack by mercenary forces exploiting the chaos left in the Shatterstorm's wake. Elena smiled, a flicker of hope lighting her eyes. "Prepare the fleet," she ordered. "Humanity's journey among the stars has just begun." The silence of space, once broken by the arrival of Earth's Star Destroyer, now hummed with the promise of a new era, one forged in fire, betrayal, and unyielding courage. And as the Eclipse surged forward into the unknown, it carried with it the spirit of a species determined to claim its place in the vast tapestry of the cosmos. The dawn of a new era was here,